The heat of the late Sunday sun lingered on my shoulders as I turned into my mother's driveway in North Hollywood, the familiar stretch of cracked concrete lined with her well-kept garden. Through the cracked window of my car, I caught the sweet smell of gardenias drifting from the front yard, blending with something rich and savory wafting out from the kitchen. Sunday dinner. Our Roman family tradition. Dependable as clockwork. Dad would complain about the Dodgers. Mom would fuss about the food. And my sister Nala would announce some new million-dollar idea that the rest of us were supposed to applaud. But today felt different before I even set foot inside. There was a hum in the air, a current of excitement that didn't belong in our predictable Sunday routine. As I pushed open the front door, the sound of voices floated toward me, higher pitched, eager. My stomach tightened. Something was off. Octavia. Perfect timing. Mom called from the dining room, her voice carrying that certain brightness, the kind I knew all too well. It was the tone she always used when bragging about Nala, a tone that never meant anything good for me. I followed the sound of her voice into the dining room, and then froze at the archway. My parents and Nyla huddled tightly around the big mahogany table, their heads bent over stacks of glossy papers. Flyers, professional, polished, spread across the surface like prized trophies. Dad's reading glasses balanced on the tip of his nose as he squinted at one. Nala pointed excitedly at another, her perfectly manicured nails tapping the paper with the pride of someone unveiling a masterpiece. And then I saw it. My name, my title, my hard-earned credentials printed boldly across one of those pages. Cold ran through me like ice water. "Come see what your sister has put together," Mum said, waving me over with a smile so wide it demanded my approval. That look, that unspoken command. Be supportive, fall in line, play the part. I moved forward slowly, every step deliberate, my muscles tight, holding my face in practiced neutrality. Mum thrust one of the flyers into my hands like it was the crown jewel of our family legacy. "Isn't it wonderful? Read the tagline." Her eyes sparkled with pride. My gaze dropped to the words. "Approved by our family's own nutrition expert, Octavia Romang, RDN." The paper crinkled beneath my tightening grip. Years of education, training, and sacrifice reduced to a marketing gimmick without my knowledge, without my permission. Nala bounced on her toes like a child showing off a report card. "It's a meal prep business. Healthy food delivered right to people's doors. I've already got 20 pre-orders from people at my gym." 20? I echoed, my voice hollow. "I'm calling it Nala's plan," she announced proudly, rolling the words like they were already famous. She kept talking about finances, delivery schedules, customer lists, but I barely heard her. Dad looked up from one of the brochures, his face serious in that way that meant he was already fully invested. "You're not using that fancy degree anyway, Octavia. Might as well put it to work for the family." The family. Always the family. His words cracked something in me, pulling up old memories I tried to bury. I was 12, bent over math homework at the kitchen table while the rest of them cheered. Nala's junior varsity cheerleading win in the living room. My perfect report card, taped on the fridge, buried under one of Nala's crayon drawings. My college graduation summa cum laude, Mom and Dad late, then leaving early because Nala had a date. My RDN license ceremony, years of sweat and study distilled into a single proud moment, celebrated only by Dr. Winters, my mentor, while my family rushed off to watch Nala's community theatre play. And now, years of offering free nutrition advice to my family, advice they ignored or took credit for, boiled down to this. My name, my license, slapped on flyers without so much as a text. "Did you know," I said carefully, setting the flyer back down, "that using an RDN's credentials without consent is a violation that carries fines and penalties?" For both of us? The room went still for a moment. A hush that carried weight. Then Dad waved his hand like swatting a fly. Nobody follows those rules. It's just government nonsense. This is what family does, Octavia. We help each other. We support each other's dreams, Mom added, her eyes narrowing, her tone dripping with disappointment. But my dreams? They had never been part of the equation. Your sister has worked so hard on this, Mom pressed, squeezing Nala's shoulder. The least you can do is help her succeed. Right on cue. Nala's eyes filled with tears, her lip trembling like an actress hitting her mark. She flicked her gaze toward our parents, making sure they saw the performance. Family comes before career, Dad said firmly, his voice final, more decree than suggestion. Mum stepped between us then, mediator as always, though her hand still rested protectively on Nala's back. Honey, we're just asking for your signature. Just sign this form so Nala can use your credentials. It's such a small thing. A small thing that could cost me my career. My license. My reputation. The weight of their expectation pressed down, suffocating in its familiarity. I had carried it my whole life. The role of the responsible one. The quiet one. The one who gave in so others could shine. I need time to think about this, I said at last, each word heavy, deliberate. Even that tiny hesitation sounded like betrayal. Disappointment filled the room instantly. Sighs, shakes of the head, lines I had heard 1,000 times. Don't let your sister down again, Mum whispered. The again struck me harder than a slap. When I thought bitterly, had I ever let Nala down? When had I been anything but supportive? I walked out before they could answer. In the quiet of my car, the mask I had worn all evening cracked. But no tears came. What surfaced instead was steel. Determination. That night, my apartment walls felt like they were shrinking around me as I paced from room to room. My laptop glowed against the dark, pulling me deeper into the storm. I typed Nala's name into the search bar, and in seconds there it was, her Instagram page. Dozens of posts. Neatly packed meal containers lined in perfect rows, my credentials stamped proudly on every caption. Nutritionally balanced meals approved by Octavia Roman. RDN. Not just one post. Not just an idea. 3 months of posts. 3 months of sales. 3 months of my sister building a business on my back. Customer comments stacked beneath each photo. Your dietitian's protein plan helped my recovery so much. Can your RDN make diabetic-friendly options? Love that these meals have professional oversight. Each line hit me like a blow. 3 months of liability. 3 months of risk. And I hadn't known a thing. My phone buzzed. Dr. Winters. My mentor, the only person who had ever truly seen me. Octavia, I saw your sister's ads. Please tell me that isn't your license being used without an agreement. My throat closed as I whispered. I just found out today. This isn't small, she warned, her voice sharper than I had ever heard. The board doesn't take misuse lightly. Fines start at 5,000. They can go to 10. Even suspension. And it won't matter if you knew. Your license. Your responsibility. Shut this down immediately. When the call ended, my hands trembled as I scrolled further. Nala's business page showed meal prep selling at $14.99 each. Weekly orders at least 200. I grabbed a calculator. $3,000 weekly revenue. With her recipes, maybe $5 in costs per meal. She was clearing at least $2,000 in profit. Every week. $2,000 in her pocket. Risk in mind. My phone buzzed again. A trainer friend from the gym. Client asked about your sister's meal service. Said your name is on the packaging. What's going on? And then another notification. An email from the LA Health and Wellness Expo. Octavia Roman, we'd love to feature your expertise at our upcoming event. The realization hit like a tidal wave. Nala wasn't just borrowing my credentials. She was building a future with them. She was climbing into my career while pushing me out of it. I checked my parents' Facebook pages next. Mom's post glowing with pride. So proud of Nala's entrepreneurial spirit. Creating jobs for the family. Jobs for the family. The words stuck like thorns. Dad's post followed. My daughter's professional meal service. Designed by our very own certified RDN. The betrayal was bigger than I imagined. This wasn't Nala's scheme. It was theirs. All of theirs. I grabbed my keys and drove. By the time I pounded on Nala's apartment door, I was shaking. She opened it, surprise flickering to irritation. You could have texted. Like you could have asked before using my RDN license. I snapped, brushing past her into the kitchen. Meal containers covered every surface. Stickers with my name neatly stacked beside them like trophies. I grabbed one. These go. Every single one. By tomorrow. My name. My credentials. Gone. You're overreacting, she scoffed, folding her arms. It's just marketing. It's fraud. I shot back, my voice sharp. And it could cost me everything. Nobody cares about these technicalities, she said, parroting Dad's line. The board cares, I countered, shoving my phone at her screen. The health department cares. Fines start at $5,000 and can reach $10,000. Plus license suspension. For the first time, uncertainty flickers across her face. You wouldn't report your own sister. I won't have to if you remove every mention of my credentials immediately. Fine, she says finally, tears welling up right on cue. I'll change the labels. And the social media posts. All of them. She nods, lips trembling. I need to see it done, I insist, not trusting her tears. Tonight. 3 hours later, I watch as she deletes the last Instagram post mentioning my credentials. She's sullen, resentful but compliant for now. We should discuss terms, she says as I prepare to leave. A calculating gleam replacing the tears. If you want to be officially involved, we could work something out. I pause at the door. Terms is the first acknowledgement that my professional contribution has value. A small victory in a battle. I never wanted to fight. We can discuss it, I say carefully. After you've secured proper business permits and health department approvals. Her silence tells me she has neither. As I drive home, text messages from my parents light up my phone, but I ignore them. This fight is just beginning, and I need to prepare. The next morning, my phone buzzes for the 7th time in an hour. I know it's Mom without looking. The first 6 texts followed a predictable pattern. Concern, disappointment, guilt. Each message is a carefully placed brick in the wall of family obligation they've been building around me since childhood. I swipe the notification away and continue reviewing the commercial lease agreement spread across me kitchen table. The North Hollywood property costs more than I'd planned, but the location is perfect, equidistant from 3 upscale gyms whose clients have the disposable income for personalized nutrition plans. The phone buzzes again. This time, I glance down. Asterisk. You're breaking your sister's heart. Family helps family. Call me. Asterisk. I set the phone face down and return to the lease. The landlord wants a 2-year commitment. I've been saving for 5 years, living in an apartment half the size I could afford, driving a car with 180,000 miles on it. I have enough for the deposit, first 3 months' rent, and basic equipment. My father's voice barges into my thoughts uninvited. Asterisk. You're not using that fancy degree anyway. Asterisk. But I am. Every day with my clients, every meal plan I design, every transformation I guide. The doorbell rings. I'm not expecting anyone. Doctor Winter stands on my doorstep, her silver hair pulled back in her trademark no-nonsense bun, a leather portfolio tucked under one arm. "You look terrible," she says, brushing past me into the apartment. "Have you been sleeping?" "Not much." I close the door behind her. "What brings you here?" She sets her portfolio on the counter and extracts a folder. "The health department finally processed your application. You're officially permitted to operate a meal preparation facility, assuming the space passes inspection." I take the folder with both hands, another piece falling into place. "You're really doing this," she says, studying my face. "I am." "Good." She pulls out a second folder. "The LA Health and Wellness Expo wants you as a featured speaker. Ethical nutrition. Building trust through compliance. 20 minutes, main stage, Saturday afternoon. My stomach tightens. The same expo where Nana's planning to launch." Dr. Winters raises an eyebrow. "Is she?" "She posted about it yesterday, with my credentials still attached to her business name." Dr. Winters' mouth thins to a hard line. "Then perhaps it's fortunate I brought this." She produces a third folder. "The health code requirements for temporary food facilities at public events. Every violation carries a $750 fine." I leaf through the pages. Temperature control requirements. Hand washing stations. Permit displays. The knot in my stomach loosens slightly. Rules. Structure. Requirements. The antithesis of Nala's approach to everything. "Thank you." I close the folder. "For all of this." She waves away my gratitude. "You earned it. I didn't carry you through your certification. You did the work." The work. Years of study, while my family attended Nala's community theatre performances. Nights analyzing nutritional research while they celebrated her, landing a commercial callback. Weekends studying for exams, while they helped her move into a new apartment. The security deposit, a gift from our parents. My phone buzzes again. A text from Marcus. "Got you wholesale prices on the Kaiser equipment. Call me asterisk." Dr. Winters notices the smile that touches my lips. "Your gym colleague?" "Yes, he's helping with equipment sourcing." "Good. You need allies." She studies the lease on my table. "When do you sign?" "Tomorrow." She nods, satisfied. "I'll be there." "You don't have to." "Anyone." "I will be there," she repeats firmly. After she leaves, I stand in my kitchen, surrounded by paperwork, the architecture of my future taking shape. My phone buzzes with yet another text. From an unknown number this time. "Hi Octavia. This is Joanne from Befit Studio. Marcus gave me your number. Do you have space for a new client? I need someone who actually understands nutrition science, not just Instagram trends." Asterisk. Before I can respond, another text arrives from a different unknown number. "Octavia. Sam here from Marcus's gym. Can I get on your waiting list for when you open your place? Heard great things." Asterisk. The validation feels strange, uncomfortable almost. Like shoes in the correct size after years of wearing hand-me-downs too small for my feet. My doorbell rings again. This time, it's a delivery the business cards I ordered last week. I run my fingers over the embossed letters. Octavia Romang, RDN, Evidence-Based Nutrition and Fitness. My name. My credentials. My terms. I tack one to my bulletin board and stand back to look at it. For years, I've helped my clients set boundaries with unsupportive family members and friends who undermine their health goals. You're allowed to prioritize your well-being. I've told them countless times. Your health isn't negotiable. The irony doesn't escape me. That night, I dream of my college graduation. In reality, my parents had arrived late and left early for Nala's theatre performance. In my dream, no one comes at all. I stand alone in my cap and gown, diploma in hand, surrounded by other graduates bracing their families. I wake at 3 a.m., the familiar ache of invisibility throbbing in my chest. Unable to sleep, I dress and drive to the 24-hour gym where I've been a member for years. The night manager nods as I enter. We have an understanding. I don't expect conversation at this hour, and neither does he. I move through my routine methodically. Each rep, each set, a meditation in movement. With every pound I lift, the ache recedes slightly. By the time I finish, sweat soaking my shirt, the sky outside has lightened to a pale grey. On the drive home, my phone rings. It's my mother. At 5:30 inches the morning. Octavia, thank goodness. Your father and I are worried sick. You haven't responded to any of our messages. I'm fine, Mom. Well, we need to talk about Nala's situation. She's devastated by your lack of support. She's had to remake all her marketing materials. The financial impact is significant. The old guilt rises like floodwater, threatening to drown my resolve. I pull over to the side of the road and close my eyes. Mum, I need to go. I have an appointment. At this hour? With whom? With myself. I end the call before she can respond. Later that morning, I stand in the empty commercial space that will become my gym. Sunlight streams through the large front windows, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Marcus walks the perimeter, measuring and making notes. HVAC system is solid, he says. Plumbing needs work, especially for the kitchen area. I know a guy who can do it for half what the building's contractor quoted you. I nod, mentally adding it to my spreadsheet of expenses. You know she's going to show up at the expo, he says, not looking at me. Your sister? I know. With your family backing her. I know that too. He stops measuring and turns to face me. Are you ready for that? The question hangs in the air between us. Am I ready to stand opposite my family? To publicly claim space they've never willingly granted me? Yes, I say, surprising myself with the certainty in my voice. I'm ready. That afternoon, I meet with the small business attorney Dr. Winters recommended. She reviews my LLC formation documents, nodding approvingly. Everything looks in order, she says, sliding the papers across her desk for my signature. Once we file these, you'll be officially in business. I sign each page, my signature growing firmer with each stroke of the pen. Dr. Winters present as well. That night, alone in my apartment, I take out my framed RDN certificate. For years, it's hung in my bedroom where only I could see it. Tomorrow, it will hang in my gym where everyone can see it. My phone buzzes with a notification. An email from the expo committee confirming my speaking slot and my booth location. I open the attached map and feel my pulse quicken. Directly across from my assigned space is another booth labeled Nala's Nourish Plan. As if on cue, my phone rings. Mum's name flashes on the screen. We need to talk about the expo situation. Her voicemail says after I let it go to voicemail. Your father and I think we found a compromise. I set the phone down and return to reviewing the health code requirements for temporary facilities. A strange calm settles over me as I highlight the sections on proper temperature control and food handling certifications. For the first time in my life, I'm not worried about disappointing my family. They should be worried about disappointing me. On Sunday, I arrive at the Los Angeles Health and Wellness Expo 3 hours before doors open. The pre-dawn darkness still clinging to the convention center as I pull into the loading zone. My booth materials sit neatly packed in labeled containers. Everything meticulously organized according to the expo handbook specifications. Need help with those. A staff member approaches as I lift the first container from my trunk. I've got it, thanks. The weight feels good in my arms, a physical reminder of the preparation that's brought me here. Inside, the cavernous hall buzzes with early morning activity. Vendors construct elaborate displays while staff sit around on small electric carts. I locate my assigned space B42 and begin methodically setting up my booth. Every container unpacks exactly as planned. My banner with Octavia Romang, RDN, Nutrition and Fitness Solutions, unfurls without a wrinkle. Temperature-monitored sample cases click into place, and my permit documentation folder rests prominently on the display counter. By 7:30 a.m., 2 hours before opening, I stand back to assess my work. The booth gleams with professional simplicity, a stark contrast to the flashy displays around me. My samples are properly refrigerated, thermometers visible. My business cards, featuring my RDN credentials with the license number clearly printed, sit in neat stacks beside brochures outlining my new gym's meal prep service. A commotion across the main aisle catches my attention. Nala. She directs 2 hired helpers in setting up a booth directly opposite mine. A placement that can't be coincidental. Her display features hot pink banners emblazoned with Nala's Nourish Plan in glittering letters, and photos of meal preps arranged in an Instagram-worthy cascade. Not a temperature monitor in sight. No visible permits. I busy myself arranging my presentation materials, pretending not to notice when our parents arrive. Carrying additional boxes for Nala's booth. Mom catches my eye and waves hesitantly. I nod acknowledgement but continue working. 4-5 minutes before opening, a line of fitness professionals has formed near my booth. Colleagues who received my preview emails about the presentation. Marcus, my gym equipment supplier, gives me a thumbs up from the coffee station. Octavia, Dad's voice behind me. Your mother. And I wanted to support both our daughters today. I turn to face him, keeping my expression professionally neutral. That's nice. He glances around my booth, his eyebrows lifting slightly at the organized display. Your sister could use some help with her permit forms. The inspector's making rounds soon. I'm sure she can handle it. I adjust my name badge, making sure my credentials are visible. Family helps family, he says, lowering his voice. Nala's worked hard on this business. So have I. I meet his gaze steadily. And I've done it legally. Mom appears at his elbow, her smile strained. Sweetheart, we're so proud of both our girls. Surely you can spare 5 minutes to help your sister. Before I can respond, a woman in a grey suit approaches, clipboard in hand. Health Department. I'm Inspector Davis. Which vendor am I speaking with? Octavia Romang, RDN. I extend my hand. Booth B42. She nods, checking her list. You're on my morning rounds. Let's take a look. The inspection proceeds with methodical precision. She checks my temperature logs, examines my sample storage, reviews my business license and temporary food service permit. She notes my ServSafe certification and verifies my RDN credentials. Everything appears to be in compliance, she says, initialing my form. Excellent preparation, Ms. Romang. Not everyone takes food safety this seriously. Thank you. The validation feels better than I expected. She moves directly across to Nala's booth. I busy myself greeting early arrivals but can't help noticing the inspection growing increasing lightens. Inspector Davis's voice rises as she points to various violations. Nala's gestures become more animated, her face flushing to match her pink banners. Miss, without proper refrigeration and permits, you cannot serve food samples, the inspector states firmly. These temperature readings are well outside safe ranges. But my sister, Nala points toward my booth. Your sister's operation is properly permitted and equipped. Inspector Davis cuts her off, pulling an orange tag from her clipboard. This booth is non-compliant. You may remain to distribute information, but no food service is permitted. The orange non-compliant sign goes up just as the expo doors open to the public. Mum rushes to Nala's side, patting her arm while throwing apologetic glances to curious onlookers. Dad confronts the inspector, his voice rising about excessive regulation and small business harassment. I greet my first visitors, maintaining my focus despite the scene unfolding across the aisle. Attention expo attendees, comes an announcement over the PA system. Our featured speaker series begins at 11 a.m. with registered dietitian nutritionist Octavia Roman presenting safe and legal meal prep. Building a sustainable nutrition businesses in seminar room C. A fresh wave of visitors approaches my booth, some glancing curiously between my professional setup and Nala's orange tag display. 2 fitness influencers I recognize from Instagram ask about potential collaborations. A gym owner inquires about wholesale options for his clients. She did this on purpose. Nala's voice carries across the aisle. She's not even attempting to lower her volume. She reported me to make herself look better. Mom tries to quiet her, while Dad glares in my direction. Several extended family members who've come to support Nala stand awkwardly nearby, witnessing the entire meltdown. I maintain my professional demeanor, explaining my meal prep subscriptions to an interested fitness coach. Inside, a steady calm has replaced the anxious flutter that's lived in my chest for years. This isn't about revenge. It's about standards and consequences. By mid-morning, my presentation draws a standing room crowd. Business cards disappear from my display. My tablet continuously pings with membership sign-ups and payment confirmations. Through the seminar room's glass wall, I catch a glimpse of my family packing up Nala's booth, the orange tag still prominently displayed. They leave without a word to me. As the day continues, congratulatory messages flood my phone. Colleagues stop by to express admiration for my presentation. Even as part of me aches for the family relationships now damaged, possibly beyond repair, a deeper part recognizes this moment for what it is: not just professional success, but personal liberation. I watch the steady stream of interested professionals visiting my booth, their respect evident in their questions and attention. My quiet preparation has spoken, more loudly than any confrontation ever could. Sometimes, silence followed by excellence is the most powerful response of all. On Sunday afternoon, I arrive at my parents' house 30 minutes after their urgent text. The driveway already holds 3 cars: my father's Lincoln, my mother's Subaru, and Nala's candy apple red Mustang convertible that she couldn't afford but financed anyway. The aftermath of the expo still hangs in the air like smoke. The front door opens before I can knock. Mother rushes forward, her hands fluttering around my shoulders without quite touching me. Everyone's waiting in the dining room, she says, voice pitched for reconciliation. We need to talk about what happened. I nod, following her inside. My folder of evidence weighs heavy under my arm. The dining room tableau looks staged. Naylor at the table with red-rimmed eyes. Dad standing with arms crossed by the window. The moment I enter, Nala's waterworks activate on cue. How could you? She demands, mascara artfully smudged. You humiliated me in front of everyone. I set my folder on the table without responding, unbothered by the accusation. 3 days ago, it would have cut deep. Now, it feels like watching an old movie whose ending I already know. The health inspector shut you down, Nala, not me. Dad turns from the window. This petty competition between you two has gone far enough. Competition. The word nearly makes me laugh. There was never any competition. Mother slides into peacemaker mode. Honey, we're just trying to understand why you couldn't share your success with your sister. Family supports family. Does family steal from family? I ask quietly. Nobody stole anything, Dad snaps. Your sister had a setback because of technicalities. Technicalities you could have helped her navigate. I open my folder and place the first document on the table. This is a screenshot from Nala's Instagram. Notice the date 3 months ago. She was already using my credentials before asking permission. Nala's crying pauses momentarily before resuming with renewed vigor. I lay down a second document. Health Department citation. Preparing food in an uncertified kitchen. No food handler permit. No business license. These aren't technicalities. They're laws. Mother reaches for my hand. Octavia, we understand you're upset. I'm not upset. I'm drawing boundaries. I continue laying down papers. This is a financial analysis of what Nala's business would have cost me. If she'd been caught using my credentials without consent. I'd face fines up to $10,000 and license suspension. The room falls silent except for Nala's sniffling. You've always been so petty about your accomplishments, Mother says. Disappointment heavy in her tone. Why can't you be generous? My name isn't community property, I say. Voice steady. It's not something you can borrow when convenient. We're talking about family. Dad thunders. But something in my expression makes him falter mid-sentence. I wait. For the first time in my life, my family has nothing to say. Nala knew about the permit requirements. I continue, placing the final document on the table. Here's her correspondence with the health department from January. They explicitly told her what she needed. Nala's tears stop abruptly. That woman was totally unhelpful. She was doing her job, I counter, just like I'm doing mine. Father's gaze shifts to the business card at the top of my papers. Octavia Romang, RDN owner, Total Balance Fitness and Nutrition. Something changes in his expression. Your own place? He asks, his voice smaller than I've ever heard it. Opened last month. 120 members already. Mother blinks rapidly. You never mentioned. You never asked. Nala wipes her eyes. Calculation replacing tears as she studies me. Not as the reliable older sister, but as someone she hadn't properly assessed. I'm not here to argue, I say, gathering my documents. I'm here to establish terms. My name and credentials are not available for anyone's use. Not even family. Especially not family. If you attempt to use them again, I'll report it immediately. You do that to your own sister? Mother whispers. I'd protect my professional license from anyone who threatened it. Father sinks into a chair, age suddenly visible in the slump of his shoulders. And what about this family? Are you walking away from that too? That depends on you. I say, I'm happy to help. Nala pursue legitimate certification if she's serious. I'll even mentor her through proper business setup. But only if my boundaries are respected. The silence stretches, heavy with decades of unspoken expectations. I should go, I say finally. I have clients waiting. Nobody tries to stop me as I walk to the door. No emotional pleas or manipulative sighs follow me. The absence feels like fresh air after years underground. In my car, I check my watch. Still time to swing by the gym before my evening appointments. My phone buzzes with new membership notifications. 5 more today. I drive away from the house without looking back. The street's familiar, but the direction new. At the first stoplight, I exhale fully for what feels like the first time in years. Let them think what they want. My name belongs to me now. I unlock the door to my gym at 5:30 in the morning, a full hour before my first client arrives. 4 weeks since the expo, and the smell of fresh paint has finally faded. Replacer be the clean scent of sanitized equipment, and the faint aroma of yesterday's meal prep lingering from the kitchen. 123 members. The number still stuns me when I check the system each morning. Light filters through the east-facing windows as I walk the empty space, running my hand along the smooth surface of the reception desk. My reception desk. My gym. My vision. My phone buzzes. Another text from Mom. Third one this week. Just checking in, honey. Dad and I were talking about maybe stopping by to see your place. Let us know if that would be okay. I placed the phone face down on the desk without responding. Not yet. The boundaries still feel too new, too fragile. The wall calendar catches my eye today. Marks exactly 1 month since opening day. 1 month of proving what's possible when you refuse to cut corners. 1 month of silence, speaking louder than any argument could. Marcus arrives at 6:15, his keys jingling as he pushes through the door. Morning, boss lady. He grins, dropping his gym bag near the staff lockers. Big day, huh? 1 month down. Empire in the making. Empire in the making. 1 month of not getting more than 5 hours of sleep. I counter, but can't help smiling. Worth it though, right? He gestures toward the whiteboard where our revenue projections have been consistently exceeded each week. The Nourish and Move membership package is killing it. The irony doesn't escape me. Nala's failed Nourish plan has become our most popular offering, reborn as something legitimate, something built on solid ground. Have you heard from your sister lately? Marcus asks, reading my mind as he often does. Indirectly, Mom mentioned she's looking into actual certification programs. I shrug, surprised by how little I feel about it now. Good for her. If she follows through. By 7, the morning crowd begins to arrive. Professionals stopping in before work, retirees avoiding the midday rush. They greet me by name, ask questions about their meal plans, share progress from that previous week. No one here sees me as just the responsible one. No one diminishes my credentials or expects me to sacrifice my standards. At noon, I slip away to my weekly therapy session with Dr. Lloyd. Another choice my family would never understand. Spending good money just to talk about feelings. How's the boundary maintenance going? She asks after we settle in. Easier than I expected, I admit, though Mom keeps testing the waters. And your father? Radio silence. I don't elaborate. The absence of his criticism feels almost peaceful. By evening, the gym bustles with after-work clients. At 7, I lock the front door and flip the sign to close it. The staff, my chosen family, gather in the break room where I've arranged a small celebration. 1 month ago, I begin, raising a glass of sparkling cider. None of this existed. No proper permits, no health department approval, no legitimate business. No sleep, Marcus adds, earning laughter from everyone. To doing things right, Dr. Winters says. Raising her glass. My mentor had driven across town to be here tonight. And to the future dietitians who will benefit from Octavia's scholarship fund. The announcement catches me off guard. It's just an idea I've been playing with. I explain, feeling my cheeks warm. 4 nutrition students who want to do things ethically. It's brilliant, says Tessa, my newest trainer. Just like your certification program concept. We talk late into the evening, sharing stories of family expectations and professional struggles. I'm not the only one who's had to choose between peace and integrity. After everyone leaves, I walk through the darkened gym alone. The wall of member transformation, photos still small but growing weekly, captures my attention. Real results, honest work. My phone buzzes again. Mum, I slip it back into my pocket without reading the message, smiling as I turn out the lights. Sometimes, careful preparation and silence are the strongest comeback. I didn't have to hurt anyone. The truth did it for me.